You obviously have been privy to the briefing from the Secret Service. One of the immediate questions that I had is it seemed like the snipers, and now we know this for 20 minutes, had the shooter in their sight. And our Brian Ensign congressman is told that the working theory was that he was a police officer, so obviously you don't want to shoot at a police officer. But now we know that's not the case. And that's my setup, Congressman, for wondering, what do we need to do with the protocol here so that nothing like this ever happens again on either end?
Well, they should follow it. I mean, there's a couple main problems that we have here. One, poor planning and execution on that particular set of threats, which is that building complex. There should have been more resources dedicated to that. What was dedicated to it was a local police force of only about 4 officers. They were using it as an overwatch position. So they knew about it. They knew it was an issue, but there's blind spots there. Second of all, the shooter got really lucky. And, you know, you have to acknowledge that. There's sort of a perfect storm of events there. The
How
shooter,
so?
well, because the way he climbed up onto the roof, for instance, using an AC vent. There was no ladder. There was talk of a ladder. There was no ladder. Climbed up using an AC vent, and he was out of view of where those officers were who were actually in that building complex where the shooter shot from. It's also important to note, just because snipers see somebody 20 minutes before, they didn't see him with a weapon. Okay, he was noticed, you know, an hour before with a rangefinder.
Right.
Many Trump supporters probably have something like a rangefinder. They want to see their president. So he's a person of suspicion, but you don't just go shooting the guy. The other detail that I don't think gets out is that the police actually did confront him as the shooter was moving onto the roof. The problem is the police confronted him. The shooter turned his weapon on them. The police fell off the roof. And then the shooter quickly scurried up, silhouetted himself on the apex of the roof, and began shooting immediately upon which time the Secret Service counter snipers shot him. So you got, those facts are important. Doesn't mean there's not security failures. The main security failure is you have to completely cordon off an area that's only 150 meters from the target. And I think when you start to look at the investigation, like that's where it will lead. That's where the failure will be.
So, like I said, you obviously have great insight into this. You've been read in on this. I wonder, Congressman, as you sit back and sort of process everything and think, okay, what could have been done differently? What do you think needs to be done differently as it relates to the protection of someone of this stature going forward?
Well, it seems to me, and this will be part of the investigation, is did they really follow their own protocols? Because I would assume that Secret Service protocols would say that a building complex only 150 meters away with clear line of sight to the president would have a lot more resources than just local than just local police. Now, Secret Service never has enough people for anything. They always delegate some of the responsibilities to local and state authorities, and they work well together. That's what they do. But Secret Service has to do a better job vetting who might be in charge of that particular area. They can't just look away. You know, in this particular case, there's actually usually not counter snipers for a presidential candidate. There's only counter snipers for presidents. So Donald Trump already had 2 sniper teams that were not normally given to a candidate. One of those people were talking about the sniper team seeing the guy and not shooting. This isn't really true. First of all, the sniper team that was closest to the target couldn't see them because of the trees. So the ones that actually shot him were the ones who were further away, and they had a totally different responsibility of area there. Once the shots rang out, they turned around very quickly and shot the guy.
Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.